opportunity to see it for myself, and I believe we've all seen it. Is that, Paul, have you seen it? I know Ashley was there for the tour, and I know George has seen it. I don't know if Rusty has or not, but he's not here this evening. So I toured the facility, and my first impression, my overwhelming impression was, wow, this is a really big building. 63,000 square feet, actually, total. It's a very attractive facility. It's in a good location for the city, being adjacent to City Hall, I think, and off of Highway 31. And I think at some point in time that this might be a great property for our city to obtain. What concerns me about the proposal is that it may not be the right time for our city. It just may not be the right time. Right now, our community spaces plan is at the level of an executive summary. It's very high level. It's very conceptual. The final sentence of the executive summary that Mr. Dazier put out reads, if the City Council adopts the plan, an implementation strategy will be put in place. At a minimum, the strategy will include funding recommendations and a timeline for program execution. I have three major concerns about the purchase. First, we have not adopted a plan or priorities. The council has not even been given a specific plan to review. We don't have it ready yet. We have not adopted a funding strategy. We have not talked about how the community spaces plan might be funded, how much of it might be funded, and we don't have a timeline for how all of this will occur. And yet, we're sitting here tonight, a decision that we have to make, a very difficult decision, is that we have a very nice property that we're thinking of purchasing for $11 million. If you look at the total projected budget for the community spaces plan, that's 20 to 25% of the overall budget for this one purchase. And all of this without funding. What further concerns me is that making this purchase is in essence making a choice between Plan A, 2 buildings, or Plan B, 1 building. It's making a decision about an amount of space that we need for our city. And I'm not sure that I feel comfortable understanding exactly what the needs of our city are because we haven't gotten to that level of planning yet. So we're talking about 95,000 square feet or 63 or whatever the number was. So we're talking about a substantial difference in the size of the facility, but we don't have in-depth study or feedback from residents because they haven't really, except for the small community spaces committee, they haven't gotten engaged yet. We don't have the subcommittees in place, they haven't met, they haven't discussed it. We haven't prioritized. We've done some surveys, and Jeff mentioned those in his presentation. One of the surveys was through our Vestavia Hills Listens portal, and there were we had a different number, but the number I saw was 65 responses. And Gold's Gym fell 5 out of 7. The Civic Center was number 1, and just from my personal standpoint, I totally agree with that prioritization. If you were to ask me what the most important thing out of all the community spaces plan components, it would be the renovation of the Civic Center. And I think it's important to understand, and some folks who have talked to me and asked me questions, I think there's among some people there's a misconception that we're voting on whether to have a nice new Civic Center or whether we're not. But what we're really asking is which option for a new Civic Center. Are we going to do 2 buildings or 1 building? Because once we make this purchase, we have made that decision. We have started down the road of making that decision. And I'm not really comfortable making that at this point. You know, I heard 1,700 hours is a need for our city. I'm not sure how that translates to square footage. Someone might be able to comment on that to clarify. But that basically when I'm deliberating this purchase, I look at it as if it were my purse and my money, because it is partially, but if it were my money, if it were my purse, would I buy this building at this time without a good budget, a solid budget, and without a plan? If this were my money, would this deal be too good to pass up for me at this time? That's, if I were making this purchase personally, those would be my questions. And as I've really spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I've mulled it over, and for me, the answer to that question for both of those right now is no. I don't feel comfortable with the plan at the level that we have it at this time, the level of detail that we have it, the amount of input that we have from all of our citizens, as many as we can involve, to decide if, this is worth spending a quarter of the money that we've talked about spending overall for our plan. It's a lot of money, $11 million. So just to summarize, I don't think we have the plan that we need in place to make this decision at this time. I don't think that we know how much we're going to fund, how we're going to fund it. Are we going to do it in phases? Are we going to do it in a lump sum? Are we going to increase taxes to back a bond issue? We don't know the answers to that right now. And we don't have a timeline. And I understand the urgency of the opportunity that we have. And it is a nice facility. We don't know what we would do with it exactly, and that's part of my concern. So just that's sort of a summary of what I've been mulling over and what I've been thinking about the purchase.